And our focus on the city continues with another chance to see the interview that we recorded late last year in Cincinnati with the then unknown Pearl Jam. Their debut album, 10, has now sold in excess of 2 million copies, but back then it had just been released stateside and the band were touring with Chicago grungers Smashing Pumpkins and headliners Red Hot Chili Peppers. I started off by asking the guys why Seattle had developed such a vibrant heavy rock scene over the last few years.
The reason why, I don't know. I think there's been a scene brewing there for like a long time now, and it just so happens that a lot of the bands, us and Soundgarden and Nirvana, have just kind of come into their own. I think, especially bands like Soundgarden, a band like Soundgarden, I think they're making like serious music right now. They've been together for a really long time. The chemistry's amazing, and I can't wait to be at that point, just as a band.
What about the significance of the Sub Pop label bringing these bands out?
Oh, there's definite significance to that. I mean, just the fact that Bruce and Jonathan both, basically they were just fans of music, and that was the whole point behind their label. And the fact that became successful just because of that, I think it says a lot. I think they're having some business problems, but hopefully they'll get through that and continue to to find bands that they're really into.
We need to do a telethon. We need to do a telethon for Sub Pop. Keep this label going.
They still owe us money.
Well, yeah.
Eddie, if I could ask you, it seems that unlike Hollywood, the Seattle scene doesn't seem to follow a formula, like one band comes through and there's a million imitators. It seems that there's so many original bands. Why do you think that is?
Maybe people are being honest with themselves, and honest with themselves musically, and not trying to follow the next biggest thing, because it's not an industry town. It's not a town where people are prodding them to sell music or maybe write a song that sells. They're just maybe writing a song that makes them feel good or gets something out for them emotionally and physically as well.
That's a good answer. Now, if we could turn the clock back a little bit, it must have been a tremendous blow for you when Andrew Wood, lead singer of Mother Love Bone, sadly passed away. Did you find that the Temple of the Dog project was a positive way to get over his death?
I think it helped, especially for Stone and I, just musically, to get a chance to work with a couple of people that we respected a lot, and it just got us kind of to that next step. I mean, when we played with Chris and Matt, we knew we could play with just about anybody, and at that point we'd already met Eddie and Dave and Mike, and we were already kind of starting our own thing. So it was just kind of like a shot on the arm. In terms of getting over Andy, I don't know if it really. I think it just let us deal with Andy's death, and I think that's the only thing you can do. I mean, when a person dies, it's reality. It's a situation. The person died. The reality of the situation is that your life is still going on, and I don't know. That's kind of what we're doing right now. We're making music that's vital, and it's vital for our lives.
That was Jesus Christ Pose from Soundgarden, and Eddie and Jeff from Pearl Jam are still with me on Headbangers Ball from Cincinnati. And I was wondering, how did the Temple of the Dog project pave the way for Pearl Jam?
How did it pave the way? Well, essentially, just the recording process. We had done some demos out there with Pearl Jam, and it just got us comfortable with recording and writing, in a band situation again, and it. Just going through, when we made Apple, the Mother Love Bone record, we spent probably 3 or 4 months making that record, and we made the Temple of the Dog record in about 10 days. And I think that made us realize that you didn't really have to overanalyze and overthink, a recording situation. And so when it came time for us to do our record, we kind of took a similar approach.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you recorded the album 10 in Seattle, but then you went to England to mix it, didn't you? Why did you do that?
Actually, we heard the best theory was to make your record at home where you felt comfortable, and where you weren't in a strange situation. You could just get the music out how it naturally would kind of evolve. And then after that, to go as far away as you could, to mix it somewhere different and get like new perspective. And that's what Dorking England did for us. We'd never even been to England before, and all of a sudden we were staying in this 500-year-old mansion out in Surrey. And it was amazing experience. There's a place called Ridge Farm, and the people there were terrific. And we mixed it with a guy named Tim Palmer, who's a master. And
Bad Company made records there. I stayed in Paul Rogers' room.
Oh, wow.
Like in the attic.
So you got a good vibe from that.
I'm not sure.
I think he might
get a good night's sleep for like 2 months, but
he was busy touching himself, thinking about Paul.
Now, the band formed and recorded an album in just 8 months. Do you have any kind of concerns about growing up in the public eye?
No, not at all.
That's a really great question, though.
As a band, I don't feel weird about. I mean, we're gonna grow as we grow, no matter what anybody else thinks. So I don't know.
He's not worried.
I just hope people, don't speculate every move and every lyric. I mean, it's nice that they've responded to the lyrics are there, but hopefully they'll give us a chance to make mistakes in 2 or 3 records, because we're gonna do it anyways.
And that was the whole point of this record too. I mean, we'd only been a band for 4 or 5 months when we recorded this record, and it was like so many bands spend 2 or 3 years to evolve into this point to where they make their first record or where they're mature enough to make their first record. And to me, the whole point is like, look, we have 20 songs. Let's document, this time of our careers, and that's exactly what we did. I mean, there's mistakes all over our first record. There's going to be mistakes on our second record, but that's music, that's art. So.
Okay, and actually, I talked to you about the lyrics, Eddie. On the whole, they're very simple. Do you feel that less is more and that this leaves them open to interpretation by the listener?
Oh, definitely, and it's actually why I don't like to talk about the meanings of many songs in interviews, etc. Actually, I make a deal with people, and that is if they give me their interpretation, I'll give them what was behind the original writing. It's very important that people are able to put themselves into the songs.
Absolutely.
And I think live, that's been apparent too. I mean, when they sing it back to you, you can see the look in their eyes, and you can see that something's going on there. So, and the fact is that there are, I've talked to a lot of people, hundreds of people, and there's been hundreds of different variations on these thoughts, and it's been really, that's been one of the most fulfilling things, is getting other people's kind of input on these songs. So all of a sudden they become everybody's. It's not just our bands putting it out to them, something that people can relate to and identify with in their own way.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we've got the video for Alive coming up now, and actually interesting what you were just saying. Every time I read those lyrics, they mean something different to me. Could you introduce the video for us? With Banana.
This next song is Alive. We recorded this video live, so it's got everything. It's got mistakes. It's actually a different version.
Headbangers Ball, Pearl Jam. Eddie and Jeff are still with me. We're going to talk some more. And I was wondering, is your whole approach in direct defiance of how self-indulgent rock music has become in recent years, both musically, lyrically, and visually?
No, I don't think so. I think that what's come out is just a natural thing. I think that there's plenty of reasons to rebel against that sort of kind of gluttonous, superfluous crap, but we're not going to go out of our way to talk about it or to put that in our music. It's just, that's how it came out, and that's what we're trying to hang on to. It's an honesty thing, it's a truth thing, and it's just what we feel when we go to play music. It's just what we feel, and it's where it comes from.
Okay.
I totally agree with him. I think at the same time, I think just the way that we approach playing our instruments might bring out some of that rebellion in us in terms of like trying to get it to sound like a different instrument or whatever. But as far as being a rebel, I don't really feel too much like a rebel at this point.
He just looks like one.
He does. I just think that maybe in this day and age, kids can perhaps relate more to your songs than perhaps a lyric. I ride down Sunset Strip on my Harley Davidson, because how many people get to do that?
Yeah, well,
Not really that cool anyway.
yeah, they're really loud, and the leathers get really sweaty, and that whole thing is not as glamorous as everybody thinks.
I mean, but do you see your music as a different form of escapism, perhaps?
Well, definitely. I think that, I think that's a whole kind of fantasy trip that those people are talking about, and maybe that's where those people, I don't know, maybe they're looking for music to take them there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different kind of reality, and I think we're dealing with, like, what is reality, and we're dealing with, like, problems and emotions, and maybe trying to take people someplace within that, in a reality type situation, so they, like, somehow by the end of a song they've dealt with something, rather than just losing themselves into something that's not real at all.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. And maybe we could talk a little bit about your influences. When I listened to the record, I felt that maybe you had a lot of European influences, but there's also kind of a psychedelic kind of edge in there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is, on purpose. I mean, I think, again, we're just working within the realms of our instruments. So, I think a lot of the ambient qualities and the atmospheric qualities come from. I mean, I listen to a lot of that sort of music. I listen to Eno and David Sylvian in Japan, and I know Stone is really, really into Jimmy Page and that whole trip, and Mike's really into a lot of different blues players like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Hendrix and Muddy Waters and B.B. King, and so in terms of what we listen to and our influences, it's pretty much the gamut. It pretty much changes daily. I mean, if I woke up one morning and listened to, like, Free before I went out to do a bass part, the bass part might end up a little bit more like that. Who knows? I mean, it isn't a conscious thing. It's just, I think we're all huge fans of music, and subconsciously I think we're influenced by it all. So.
Okay. A lot of the tracks on the album I found to be very mellow, and I actually found I could relax listening to it. Now, in some ways, that is the complete antithesis of rock music, isn't it?
Well, I guess so, especially since I was listening to, like, probably Rollins the morning I wrote those mellow songs. But live, though, see, even live, you're not allowed to relax. Live, even the slow ones, we end up smashing instruments and smashing ourselves, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of different emotions on the record. I think there's songs that people can forward to if they're, like, feeling really aggressive, and there's other ones that they can kind of go to sleep to.
At home, drawing pictures of mountain tops, where love give attention to the fact that mommy didn't take there on me, the wicked. Oh, there's a world, there are these moments, get on the boy, need a harmless little fuck. Oh, we unleashed the lion, gnashed his teeth and bit the recessed lady's breath. How could I forget? And he hit me with a surprise left door. My jaw left her, oh, just right open, just like the day, oh, like the day I heard. Something that mommy wouldn't wear. There on me, the wicked. Oh, there's a world, there are these moments. There are these
There you go.